Hello again. This video just have a short Bible word study for you that I did and thought I would pass it along to you. It's not very long. It's the word enjoin in the Bible, and I guess when I was first reading the Bible and heard that word, I just thought it meant to join something because that's what it kind of sounds like, enjoin. But that's not what it means at all. And only it's pretty easy to study. There's only four occurrences of that word and its forms in the Bible, and here they are. And Astor gives you a pretty good definition to start with, but we'll kind of compare the other ones as well. So let's go to Esther chapter 9, and it says, we'll start in verse 29. Then Esther the queen, the daughter of Abihail, and Mordecai the Jew wrote with all authority to confirm this second letter of Purim. And he sent the letters unto all the Jews to the 127 provinces of the kingdom of Ahasuerus, is how I'm going to pronounce it, with words of peace and truth, to confirm these days of Purim in their times appointed, according as Mordecai the Jew and Esther the queen had enjoined them, there's our word, and as they had decreed for themselves and for their seed the matters of the fastings and their cry. And the decree of Esther confirmed these matters of Purim, and it was written in the book. So we see here that it comes from Mordecai, who, if you read chapter 10, it says that he was next unto the king Ahasuerus, and Esther the queen. They had enjoined the people these letters of Purim, or the days of Purim, in the letters that they wrote. So he sent letters to all the Jews and 27 provinces with words of peace. And up here is interesting also. It comes from that it says that they wrote with all authority because it's Mordecai who's next to the king, who was delegated the authority of the king to do this. And it comes from Esther the queen. So they wrote these letters of Purim with all authority. And they to confirm the days of Purim in the times appointed, according as Mordecai the Jew and Esther the queen had enjoined them. So that these letters were enjoined. And sometimes the Bible kind of defines itself right in the text, one word with another, and as they had decreed for themselves. So these letters they decreed for themselves and their seed. And this word here, enjoin, they had decreed with all authority these letters for the Jews to obey. So we'll go back here and compare that with Job 36. We're only going to get one verse. So Job 36:23. Once you put these all together, you see that the definition that we get from Esther is quite correct. All right, so here in Job 36, we read, Behold, God exalteth by his power. Who teacheth like him? Who hath enjoined him his way? Or who can say, Thou hast wrought iniquity? Can you declare to God that he's wrought iniquity? Can you command? Okay, it's the word decree or command, as we'll see, his way. Or are you in a position? God is in a position of all authority. Are we able to do that to him? No. So here, who hath basically decreed him his way, or who can declare that he has wrought iniquity? No one can. And then Philemon 1:8, we see here that Paul makes a contrast. Philemon 1, verse 8. Talking to Philemon, Paul says, For we have great joy and consolation in thy love, because the bowels of the saints are refreshed by thee, brother. Wherefore, though I might be much bold in Christ to enjoin thee that which is convenient, so he might enjoin him, yet for love's sake I rather beseech thee. So instead of commanding him to do something, he's pleading with him to do it on his own. Being such an one as Paul the aged, and now also a prisoner of Jesus Christ. So instead of enjoining him or commanding him to take Onesimus back, he's beseeching him that he would rather on his own volition to do it rather than command him to do it. Because Paul is in a position of all authority, having written half the New Testament and Jesus Christ basically speaking through Paul. So Paul is in a position of all authority with regard to these spiritual issues. And finally, Hebrews 9:20. Hebrews 9 and verse 20. So it says in, verse 19. For when Moses had spoken every precept to all the people according to the law, he took the blood of calves and of goats with water and scarlet wool and hyssop, and sprinkled both the book and all the people, saying, This is the blood of the testament which God hath enjoined unto you. So this is the book that God commanded or decreed unto them. So to enjoin, and here, coming from Moses again, God speaking to Moses and then Moses to the people, this enjoinment comes from a position of all authority. So let's go now looking at our 4 different things here, our 4 different references and tying them all together. This is the definition that I've come up with for enjoin from the Bible. Enjoin means to command or decree from a position of all authority. So it's not just a command from anyone or any position, but it's to enjoin something is to command something from a position of all authority, where there's no greater authority over that. So when something is enjoined, it comes from a position of all authority. So that's it. Very short word study for you, and hope you learned something. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again in the next video.